In this video I'm going to show you how to make a crazy filthy drop like this. All the sounds used in this video are available in my Jump Up DNB sample pack, link down below. And if you want to improve your music production skills really fast, I've got a free music production workshop down below as well. Firstly, we're going to look through the drums, and then we're going to look through how I made these basses and how I made the sub bass. So the drums are pretty standard. The only main difference that you might see is there's actually no drums playing in the first two bars, apart from one kick and one snare. And that's because these reverbed basses down here are filling up the space of this section, and it sounds better without the drums than with the drums. So let's just ignore this section and come to this part, and I'll show you how this is made. So we've got jump up kick 1 playing on the first beat and then just halfway across the third beat like this, and then it's just repeated. So it sounds like this. And then we're using jump up snare 6 on the second beat and the fourth beat, and then that's repeated. So we get this sound. And then we get our hi-hat, which is jump up hat 28, and this comes on the third beat and then it's repeated. And you'll notice that this hi-hat is really in the background and there's not too much high range on it, so it doesn't hurt your ears. And then we've got some loops. So we've got a loop from the Chaos collection, hi-hat loop 13. And then this is just chopped a bit and it sounds like this. And then we've got one more loop, which is from Chaos collection loop 14. Sometimes I'll just like mash a load of loops in just to get that crazy sound. And then all the drums together sound like this. So you can hear there's a lot of groove going on in these drums, and it's now ready for some filthy basses to put over it. So let's just have a look at the mix down on this. So we've got all our instruments here and then our groups here. So we've got a kick group, clap group, snare group, hat group. And let's just have a look at how these are getting on here. So you can hear the kick is the loudest part, and we've just got some distortion on it and some EQ on it, boosting the lows a little bit. And then we've got our snare here coming in a little bit quieter. And then we've got our perks and our hats here, much quieter. And then these all go to the drum bus here, which has a satin on it on 41% and a Pro L on it on 4.8, and then we can adjust this depending on how we're feeling. If you're enjoying the video so far, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. So once you've created these two bars like this, you can then duplicate them again and then duplicate them again. But you'll notice here I've actually done something different with the kick drum. So let's just play it so you can hear it. So you'll notice I've got a reverb on the snare here, and then I've got a little transition section. So we've gone step mode. You can see the snares are normal here, and then you get 2 in a row, another one, and then 4 in a row here faster. And it just creates a little nice transition onto the next section. So feel free to copy this or try your own ones. And you'll notice it happens after 8 bars in total. So we've got the first 2 bars where there's not much going on, the next 4 bars which are pretty standard, and then the next 2 bars where the transition starts to happen, and then it repeats itself. So now let's just have a look at this first section. So the kick drum is on the first beat, and then the snare is on the last beat. And now, moving on, let's go to the basses. Now let's play the first one, and now let's play the second one. Now, would you believe me if I said that both these basses are pretty much the same preset? That's crazy, right? The only difference is the post-processing, and we'll go into that a bit more later on. Let's go through each bass first. I want to show you the main bass first, and then we'll come back to that reverbed bass. So let's grab an initialized tone patch, and we want to grab basic MDC, and then we want to go up 1 octave and turn the level completely off, turn the rand off, and turn the wavetable position up to around about 60. And now we want to shape the LFO. So let's put on envelope mode first, and then simply all we do is drag this across here, drag this down, and then drag this down, and then we'll get that short stabby sound. So now let's apply this to the level. You should have a weird sound so far. Move that up a little bit. Now let's come to the filter and select MG-Low 12 and make sure it's going through oscillator A, which it already is. Now let's turn the cutoff up slightly and put LFO 1 on it, just like this. And then this res button is really important here. We want to turn this right up and then apply the LFO to it as well. Now if this blue bar is going both ways, you can just hold Shift Alt, change the direction of it like this. Now let's turn the drive up to about 25%, and let's turn the fat up to about 60%. You got more of the sound coming through now. Now let's go to the effects tab and let's add distortion, a compressor and an EQ. So for the distortion, we want to pick Linfold and make no further adjustments. Then we want to pick multiband compression, turn the gain all the way up. Then we can just turn the mids up a little bit and the highs up a little bit. Now if we put it onto our channel 23, we then come into the post-processing and we've got an EQ on it, cutting out the lows because we're going to put a sub in later. And then this is the main sound design element. So there's this plugin called Effector. Now if you're on Ableton or Logic Pro, I don't think you'll have access to this. I don't know if you can download it anywhere and add it in. If you're on a different DAW and you know anything about this, please let us know in the comments, or if you know any other plugins that does something similar to what this plugin does, because I'm sure there'll be quite a few people out there who want to be able to replicate this on Ableton. So what we've done is we've turned this bypass button off, we've turned it onto 1/8 mode, and then we've turned it onto delay, and then we've just plotted this section here, and then without it, it sounds like this, and then with it, it sounds like this. And then we've just got a little bit of reverb here as well, so it's getting sent to this channel here, you can see. And then we've just got some Valhalla room and some EQ, getting rid of the lows on the reverb. And then you end up with this sound. So let's just have a look at how I've created the melody, because this is, I feel, really important. So you'll notice here, if we just go on step mode, that I've got a little gap where the kick drum hits. And then we have this melody plotted. Let's just play it for you. So feel free to copy this and try and make some other melodies, but this works super well with any sort of dabby sounds like this one. I originally had it here, but I thought it sounded even cooler up here. And then our sub bass, which is below it, is just on sustained, and it's on G because it sounds better than when it's in B. It sounds awful on B. So let me just show you the sub quickly. It's really simple. It's just basic shapes and basic shapes on -2, -2. This is plotted on here, as you can see, and then the levels as well and the post-processing. So now we've created that bass. Let me show you how this bass is pretty much the same, just with different post-processing on. So you can see it's exactly the same on this side. Apart from the res here is a little bit less, so it's 25. Apart from we've got a sine fold on here instead of a Linfold. And then let's have a look at the actual bit that's changing the sound so much, which is the EQ. So it's still got a Pro Q on it, taking out the low end, and an effector on it, but the difference is we're sending it to a new channel all the way down here. I just added it in at the end just because I didn't have space. So it's going all the way to channel 67, it's on 100%, and on this channel we have another reverb. So we have this crazy reverb on 100 mix, 0 delay, and 1.9 decay. And then we have our EQ cutting out the low end. And then it just creates this really cool. And the notes being played for this one are C and B. So this doesn't use the A, B, A, C drop method that we normally use. It instead uses A, B, B, C. So the melody we saw here is duplicated here, and then we have some variation here. Let's just have a look at this. It's very simple. It's just it just goes up like that. We also put some reverb on it as well. So if I played it all for you, you'd be able to hear. So when you're creating your drops, just make sure to add that variation. So we've got the initial drop, main drop, main drop, main drop varied, and then repeats. So that's the track complete. Let's listen to this filthy drop once more.
Answer is that's not it.
I'm going to whack this track up on SoundCloud for free download, so feel free to use in your mixes. And remember, all the presets and the samples used in this pack are available in the Jump Up drum and bass sample pack. There's so many more presets and samples in there to get your hands on. Make sure to check that out. And also check out the free music production workshop down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.